Hi, this is Mike, AA9IL, and today we're going to be talking about restoration for a BC454 radio receiver. These were the ARC5 receivers that were used in B-17 aircraft and other aircraft back from World War II. This particular radio is the 3 to 6 megahertz version, and what we're going to be covering is the restoration of this receiver to make it operational. We're going to cover the cleaning and repainting of parts of the chassis, and then also we're going to cover the electrical tests and other actions that are going to be needed to make the system operational. So for right now, first part what we're going to be covering is the actual just an overview of the receiver. If you look at the front, you can see that this receiver has the plate that was added, or actually the little plug-in was modified so that it had the gain control, BFO switch, and phone jack to allow operation. Just looking at the back of the receiver, we can see that the dynamotor, the plugs for where the dynamotor will reside are still intact. And looking at the back here, we can see that the plug that was part of the receiver is still there as well. As far as the physical appearance goes, the actual top cover is dirty. We're going to try to clean this part, which was the cover for the tubes and the IF transformers. I'm going to clean that, try not to have to repaint it. For this top cover, the paint is actually still in pretty good shape, but on this side we see that a lot of the paint was lost. So one of the things I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be removing the paint, stripping the paint off, and then repainting the black crackle finish paint with spray on black crackle, which I got from an automotive store. Once we're going to be done with that, then we're going to focus on removing the tubes in the IF transformers and doing some cleaning, spraying in deoxit in all the places where the transformers and the tubes mount to the chassis. And then, once that's done, we're going to open up the bottom of the chassis and do a visual inspection of the capacitors and also any of the other components, resistors, and the capacitors themselves, and do electrical tests to make sure that they are still within specification. Probably on this set we're going to replace the capacitors with new modern components. Again, it's going to be based on what we find out when we take the bottom plate off and inspect the receiver. Again, this is a 3 to 6 megahertz receiver, so once this is brought up to operation, and actually I have confirmed already that the receiver is operational using a dynamotor. I was able to power it up and pick up signals in the band, 3 to 6 megahertz band. But once this is done, then we're going to make this receiver part of a set of receivers that I'm going to use for operating on 80 meter, 75 meter CW, and also pair it up with another receiver which I've already restored and cleaned up. This is the 40 meter version, and the goal is to try to get the 80 meter receiver cleaned up and looking like this one. This is a R27 ARC5. This one is operational. I've been powering it with the dynamotor, but I am going to build a AC supply for this. And like the 80 meter receiver, this one has also had the BFO switch and gain control and phone jack installed in the plug-in front cover plate. One of the nice things about this receiver was, and both of these receivers, is actually they are both very close intact to what they were when they were first produced for use in the military. So I do not have to spend a lot of time removing modifications and trying to get the receiver back to its original state. Luckily these receivers are unmodified, so I don't have to spend a lot of time undoing somebody else's changes. So anyway, that's the update, and more to come.